So welcome back. In our previous video, we were talking about graphs and we saw some basic details about graph that okay, this is something which will consist of nodes and it will have some set of edges and then these edges will be connecting the nodes. And then we saw some basic terminologies in the terms of paths and connected graphs and two rings and so on and so forth. In today's discussion, we'll talk about graph representation. So there are two standard ways of maintaining a particular graph in the computer memory. And one is your sequential representation, which is done by your adjacency matrix. Another one is your linked representation, which is done by adjacency list. And this video talks about these two topics only. So to start with, what we have is we have adjacency matrix. So you might have got some idea that since we are talking about adjacency matrix, so we'll be dealing with the matrix and that would be derived from this particular graph. In this particular example, we are taking directed graph. That means you can see some arrows. This adjacency matrix we can also draw in terms of the non-directed graphs as well. So for this, what we are supposed to do is, first of all, we are going to count the number of nodes. That means we are going to talk about the vertices. In this particular example, what we see is we have like 1, we have like 2, we have 3, we have 4. So the matrix we'll be getting will be a square matrix and it would be of a size m cross m, where m is the number of vertices. So for this, let me say that I have an adjacency matrix A that would be in a form of, let's say I have your x, y, sorry, we have w, so we have w, we have x, we have y, we have z. On this side also we have w, we have x, we have y, we have z. So now to get this particular entry, we have to identify that whether there is any edge from w to w, that means something of this kind, which is not there eventually. So I'll add a 0 here. Whether I have an arrow from w to x, where w to x, no, so I'll add a 0 here. Whether I have an arrow from w to y, no, y to w exists, so it is 0. Then whether I have an arrow from w to z, so we have this arrow. So what we have done is we are adding 1 to this place. Now whether we have any arrow from x to w, then what we see is that from x to w, yes, we have this, so we are adding 1. Now whether we have any self loop, this, no, this does not exist, so from x to x I'll keep it 0. From x to y, no. From x to z, no, 0. Now from y to w, of course, yes, we have this, so we are adding 1. From y to x, yes, we are adding 1. From y to y, no, there isn't any self loop. From y to z, yes, I have this, so I'm adding 1. And next is, let's talk about z. So from z to w, yes, I have this, so I'm adding 1. Then whether I have y, one second, whether I have any particular arrow from z to x, yes, I have one. Now whether I have any arrow from z to y, no, 0. Z to z, no. I can see one error I made. It is because there isn't any arrow from y to y, so this will be 0. Now one thing to observe is that the number of ones, if you count the number of ones in this particular matrix, that would be, let's say in this case I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the total number of edges should be same. So let's say I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, I have 4, I have 5, I have 6, and I have 7. So this value matches. That means we are in a good shape. Another point is that you have to, in order to verify whether you are doing correct or not, just see from W how many arrows are emerging out. So from W, this is coming in, this is coming in, this is the only one which is going out. So I've entered here 1. From X, how many arrows are leaving? Only 1. From Y, how many arrows are leaving? It's like 3. I have like this. So 3 ones. From Z, I have 2 arrows leaving, so I have 2 ones. So that's how we verify our answer. So what we can write is, in order to write the written representation of this particular adjacency matrix, so what we say is that for A of I and j, what we are getting is, we are getting 1 if there is a Vi which is adjacent to Vj. That means if there is an edge from Vi, Vj, and 0 otherwise. So such a matrix A which contains entries of only zeros and ones is called, this particular matrix is called a bit matrix or a Boolean matrix. Right, so you can say that the adjacency matrix which we are getting is a Boolean matrix. And looking at this particular example, it is somewhat sparse, not that much. It will be somewhat sparse. Now, suppose, let's say this particular graph is an undirected graph, let's say. Then your adjacency matrix of this particular graph G will be a symmetric matrix, because in that case there will be an arrow from, let's say, Z to X, then of course there will be an arrow from X to Z as well. In that case we will get a symmetric matrix. So this was all about adjacency matrix. Now let's have some discussion on adjacency list as well. So the reason of moving towards adjacency list, which is the linked representation, from the sequential representation is that there are some issues associated with this particular adjacency matrix where we are going ahead with sequential representation. For example, we might face issues in case of insert and delete operation, for the reason being that my adjacency matrix A will need frequent changes whenever I am going to go for insert and delete, and the nodes may need to be reordered. So there will be multiple changes in the matrix A, and if suppose we are going to go ahead with linked representation, then that reordering of the matrix will not be required, because now we are going ahead with linked representation, which is this linked representation, which is also called as your adjacency structure. Adjacency structure. So if you're going ahead with this, so deletion and reordering and that particular part will not be a major issue. Now let's quickly see how this particular adjacency list is made. So for the same graph, what we are going to do is we are going to draw the adjacency list now. So this will be the column for the node, this will be the column for your adjacency list. So how we are going to draw this particular table? We have node W, X, Y and Z. So with W, how many edges are or how many vertices are connected? So what we see is from W I only have Z. So I only have the option as Z. For X, what I have is I have only W. For Y, what I see is I have X, W and Z. So W, X and Z. And for Z, what I see is I have X and W. So X and W. And we are good with our adjacency list for this graph G. So this particular table shows each node in graph G followed by its adjacency list, which is nothing but the list of the adjacent nodes, and these adjacent nodes are also called as your successors or the neighbors in simple terms. In addition to this adjacency matrix and adjacency list, there is another way of representing these graphs, which is your path matrix. By this time you might have got some idea that what it would be. So a path matrix P will be having once again the same size of m cross n, where m stands for the number of nodes or the vertices. So let's draw this path matrix for this. So what we have is we have W, we have X, we have Y, we have Z. On this side we have W, we have X, we have Y, we have Z. So now what we have to do is, what we are going to do is we'll fill values that whether there is a path exists between W to W. No, there isn't any circle kind of thing, right? So here I have 0. Whether I have a path between or the directed arrow from W to X? W to X? No. W to Y? No. W to Z? Yes. Whether I have a path from X to W? X to W? Yes. X to X? No. X to Y? No. X to Z? No. And once again, let's see whether I have a path from Y to W. Yes. Whether I have a path from Y to X. Yes. Whether I have a path from Y to Z. Sorry, Y to Y. No. Y to Z. Yes. Whether I have a path from Z, which is Z to W. Yes. Z to X. Yes. Z to Y. No. Z to Z. No. Right. So in this case, what you observe is that this particular path matrix is almost equivalent to your adjacency matrix because it's a directed graph. Now, so there is a relationship between your path matrix and your adjacency matrix. This path matrix is also called as your reachability matrix. So in some of the literatures, you'll also notice that it is also called as your reachability matrix. So how we can write this? For Pij, we have 1 if there is a path from Vi to Vj and 0 otherwise. So this path matrix is also your sequential representation, just like your adjacency matrix. This is also your sequential representation. Not the linked representation. So this was all about your graph representation, where we talked about adjacency matrix, adjacency list, and path matrix. So we'll talk about some more topics where we'll be covering Warshall algorithms and all in our next video.